All right, so we'll go into Heroclix next. And as I've said in multiple videos, that's my favorite game in the store. And it's unfortunate that it's in a bit of a lull. But they also have a World Championships. And as of, I think it was 2023 or 2022, they brought back the official support of the pro tournament scene. And that's pretty good. Unfortunately, it was difficult to find the names of the champions. I had to go to Facebook and scroll down to September and then do a Control F for, I guess, World I looked for. And then, I don't know. Unlike Flesh and Blood and Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and even Lorcana, they didn't have something on their official webpage. They had it announcing their World Championship, but no one seems to have updated their website with who the champions are. And it's been 3-4 months now. So while, I mean, I guess the department that's handling their championship scene is probably new and probably understaffed. Some things fall through the cracks, but really, if you're having a pro scene, you kind of have to have it an easy way to find the champions. It's great that I think you got all the matches on YouTube and stuff like that. That's great. And you post a lot of that stuff on Facebook as it was happening. But when people want to go back and look at it over the year, it's kind of hard to find that information. Just word to the wise if anyone from WizKids is watching this. Anyway, so the World Championships took place at Graceland Exhibition Center in Memphis, Tennessee, September 12th to the 15th. And the players battled for the title of 2024 Heroclix World Champion or 2024 Heroclix Team World Champion. Now, I did tournaments that I guess would be similar to how the World Champion is done. And then this Team World Champion stuff started happening probably after 2016, after I stopped going to tournaments. And from the podcasts that I've listened to, this Team World Championship thing is really fun. Team tournaments are really fun. It's basically a bunch of friends opening a brick together and kind of constructing their teams from amongst all the booster packs that come out of that brick. And then it's got this great little meta in it that you give your strong players this kind of team, and then your weaker players this kind of team. Anyway, it's cool. It sounds cool. I want to see how that works. And hopefully I'll make it out to a convention and watch some team championships. But for this year, the Team Birds was the Team World Championship. I didn't put down all the names of everyone in Team Birds, but go look it up. Go see who they are. They obviously, they've put a lot of work into being masters of the game. But the world champion was Dylan Kassabaum. So that's the, I guess, single player, not team. And then Isaac Arnold Berkowitz was the Pulp World Champion, which is another format which I think is similar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's similar to Modern and Magic, that it goes back further number of sets. Whereas these are the World Championships and Team World Championships are more like Standard, where it's a rotating sets, usually about 1.5 to 2 years of sets. Anyway. We'll go to the product, and now Heroclix is pretty good in that it doesn't have a release schedule that's as constant as Magic or Pokemon. It's closer to Lorcana, and well, maybe even less than Lorcana. Actually, it was easier to deal with the supply in 2024 of Heroclix than it was with Lorcana, because it came out more constant than necessarily I thought was necessary. Anyway, next phase came out in March, and I think that was, so I always talk about how Heroclix is never out on its actual release date, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. It does bother some people because they have these events planned, but whatever, it's been decades, and this is how it is, so I guess we have to deal with it. So I wasn't terribly excited about next phase, but I got, some bricks to throw some product on the wall, and then I did some box openings. Matt did some box openings. Go check them out. And then August was supposed to be Deadpool Weapon X, and I still don't know whether it actually released in August, and I just didn't get the first wave of it. No one, I've asked this on almost all my videos that I talk about Heroclix, and I haven't got any comments about, whether you saw it on shelves in stores in August or not, because I didn't get it until November. But we did get it eventually, which is great, because it's a pretty good set, and you can see the box opening in that. But then also in August was DC Masters of Time, and that came early. So was DC Masters of Time replacing the original launch date of Deadpool Weapon X, and they bumped it into November? I don't know. I guess it doesn't particularly matter. I was just excited about Deadpool Weapon X, and I was a little bit excited about DC Masters of Time. I prefer DC to Marvel, but the Masters of Time thing is not my favorite kind of DC set, so definitely Deadpool Weapon X was more important to me that year. And then Black Panther came out in November, so basically we got Black Panther boosters and then immediately Deadpool Weapon X boosters. And that's pretty great. The Black Panther set was cool as well. Heroclix peak was somewhere around 2016, and many stores, they sold product and held events, and the game itself had been going since, either you count it from when Mage Knight started in 2000 or Marvel's Infinity Challenge in 2002, but the point is, it's a couple decades now that it's been going, so it stood the test of time since it nearly died in 2008 during the market meltdown. And I don't know whether Magic the Gathering or Pokemon nearly died during those times, but certainly everyone had a rough time from 2008 to 2012. But luckily, Heroclix kept going, and like I said, it stood the test of time, and maybe it had much stronger sales back in 2016, but I think right now it might have stronger sales than it did pre-2010, and I think it's just definitely off its highs. And like I said, with 4-ish sets a year, the product moves okay to very slowly, as far as I can tell. And from what I can hear from others, not a lot of stores carry Heroclix anymore. And even those that do carry very little of it because they want little exposure to it. The specialty Iconics collector boxes are constant, but they're not that expensive, and they're kind of like, if you're a Magic player, they're like secret layers, except that stores also sell them in addition to direct sales from WizKids. So to someone, to some people, that means that they're better than secret layers. They're not just these direct sales and limited releases. They come out on a release date, and actually, I think those release dates are more reliable. I can't tell. I don't actually look at the release dates on Iconics, but let me know if those things do release on the days they say they're going to release. Anyway, the Iconics are not an overwhelming amount of product, so it's easy to say pick and choose what you think is a cool set to bring in. Sometimes you get blindsided, like I didn't think much of the Beetlejuice idea, but then it turned out to be a highly meta piece, apparently. Anyway, and it's kind of cool. I think there might be a little bit too much of them, but it's not that bad. It doesn't matter that much. So what WizKids needs to do into 2025 is to manage their tournament scene a little bit better. Like I said, it was hard to find the information on the championships, and but if they can grow their tournament scene and market a little bit more, then we might get more players into various stores, and then the scene might grow again back to its levels at 2016 at least. That would be nice. That was a good time for Heroclix, and if we could grow beyond that, that would be even better. But yeah, they do an excellent job with prize support. They don't give free prizes or free prize support like Flesh and Blood does, and maybe they could learn from Flesh and Blood and do something similar, or at least award more prize support to stores that run official tournaments through their play network, like Flesh and Blood does. But the prize support that they do sell stores is good prize support, and it's of good value, and it gets people in the door, and everyone gets a little something, right? So that's good, because Magic does none of that. Well, okay, I guess for WPN stores, but not everyone wants to become a WPN store, and both Flesh and Blood and WizKids do it without having to jump over too many hurdles. All you really need to do with both of them, actually, with WizKids, you don't need to do anything. You just buy the prize support. With Flesh and Blood, you got to run tournaments. But with Magic, there's a lot more hoops to jump through. So, and that's fine. Wizards of the Coast wants a certain kind of prestige for their branding, and they don't want to just at any place. They want people to have, to have clean bathrooms. Basically, that's the main thing I think that WPN stores. Although my store doesn't have, I'm not a front-facing store on a street, and so I don't have a big glass display with a giant sign, and so I haven't been able to get WPN status. But if we expand to a larger location, or I've made some improvements, and maybe I'll try to become a WPN store in the future. Anyway, that's a big tangent. That's just to say that Heroclix does have good price support. You just got to pay for it, unlike with Flesh and Blood. So that's it for Heroclix, and that's it kind of for the main part of the series of 2024 in review. Like I said, maybe I'll make another video about everything else, kind of. But I just wanted to cover the main games that I care about, and the main games that sell, and the main games that most people care about. So let me know what you think, and let me know if there's any stuff about Heroclix that you want me to cover. And that's been it.